By the rivers of Babylon, yeah, we sat down and we cried when we remembered Jerusalem. We were sick, Lord, near to dying.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome everyone once again. We're sitting here with a distinguished teacher, scholar, and servant of the Most High Yah. Goes by the name of Moreh, Meshael, Yisrael. And we're just gonna get into a few things about his life, his career in this great nation. And I'm gonna ask him some questions about himself so that we could document the history of this great man. So Moreh.
Yes, sir.
First, I don't know if you want to start out by saying a broker, a prayer, or giving some type of blessing before we start out.
Haile Hagado, Harom, Rehanisa. Asher Malakta Mekredem Tihena Imanu Ve Tatriach Et Amaaseh Haile Amaasim Haile Vatbarakenu Ve Todia Libnei Yisrael Midar Keka. Amen.
Amen. So I don't know if you would want to translate that in English, if you could remember what you said.
I said, I gave some of his adjectives, the great God, the exalted God, and that reigned from forever. And I asked him to prosper this little session and make known some of his ways to the Israeli people.
Hallelujah. So Moreh, first I want to start out by asking you, when and where were you born? What are your parents' name, if you care to share that with us?
I was born in Charleston, West Virginia. My mother's name was Pauline. My father's name was David. And my grandparents on my mother's side were these two here, William and Lottie Cates. Yeah.
So the next question that I'd like to ask is, growing up in Charleston, West Virginia, how was it for you as a young child? Did you spend a lot of time down there, or did you come up north right away? At what age did you come up north? And you were introduced to the big city, New York City.
Well, actually, I joined the Air Force at 17, and they sent me to Texas and North Carolina. And I've traveled. I've been a lot of different places, and I came to New York in 1964. Yeah, Brooklyn. Came to Brooklyn in 1964.
And how old were you?
I was 25.
Okay. What I forgot to ask you is, what year were you born?
1939.
1939. Okay. So you came here. You were 25. You said?
Yeah.
25. Okay. And did you have any family here that you stayed with, or did you just come on your own?
I had a brother here.
Okay.
And he left eventually. Went back to, he went to New Jersey for a while, and then he went back to Charleston, where he died.
Okay. And what intrigued you about New York that made you just stay here? What made you just stay in New York City?
I came here, and I came here from Baltimore, which is another pretty sizable city.
Right.
And before that, I mean, while I was there, I was in South Carolina and places like that. But once I got to New York, that was in 64. And, I was a blank page. And after things transpired, I met a guy named CHOKMAH, Ben Yehudah. And he taught me how to wrap a turban, because we were wearing things in the 60s called dashikis.
Okay.
And the turban, just in my mind, just hit. This is the final tap right here. So I caught some flack from some brothers down on Tompkins Avenue, Israelites. And I used to sit there on the fence and listen. Prince Yaakov used to be out there talking. And, I tried to go to BINAH, as they call it. But strangely enough, Prince Yaakov stuck up for me. But he didn't teach me anything. Just what I heard out there in the corner of Tompkins Park. So time went on. 60s were. You don't know what the 60s were, man. 60s were black is beautiful. The sisters was wearing long dresses. I mean, naturals, afros, things, braids. And they were really trying to carry the state.
Right.
But, I don't know, I kept wearing the culture, but Nasi was the guy that took me to, gave me the address to Shabbat Yisrael. That was on Gates Avenue, 1106. And that was it. Corey Levi was there. He was hot. He was teaching. He was knowledgeable. He was writing a lot of same songs we sing today.
Right.
Prayers.
Right.
He had a magazine called Tough.
Right.
And not magazine, a newspaper, a little pamphlet.
Right.
And that's where I started my real learning and real studying. Because before that, I did not know anything.
So you met Nasi Yaakov on the corner, during what year? Do you remember specifically the year?
That was probably, I don't know the year, but it was in the late 60s.
Late 60s.
Yeah, because I met Nasi in 69. And he took me to Cohane. He gave me the address. I mean,
okay.
I had a wife at that time, beautiful woman, physically. She saw me trying, because I was hanging with those Israelites anyway from BINAH. So she suggested, well, look, why don't you go where they're teaching this stuff? But I didn't know any place besides BINAH until Nasi Tavel.
Okay, you met Nasi Tavel, and then he introduced you to Cohen Levi.
Yes.
And there you began to really take on the culture of Israel.
Yeah.
And can you remember some of the things? I know you said that they started. I didn't know that they started on Gates Avenue. I always started. you were Gates Avenue. When did they move to? When did you guys move to Belmont?
It was in the early 70s.
Okay.
Early 70s. I was there for 13 years, and everything we started, they would always put me in charge, make me the chief, and then we started Chief Man's Council. That made me the president, because I was proactive. I was studying and learning, and they respected that. And I was real. I was really naive also, because a lot of those people that were there and that ones that came through, they didn't stay. And some of them died in the process. So they kept making me chief. When Barak, Barak Ben Levi, the prince.
Right, Nasi Barak.
Yeah, when he left, he just made me Moreh, because me and for torah, Cohane Levi's Isha, were the people who were, really into this thing, learning it.
The language.
Yeah, language and more.
And more, right.
Yeah, because, Barak made me the teacher. He gave me the title, Moreh.
Okay.
And it stuck. In that time, there was only one other guy that they called Moreh. That was Joseph, Moreh Joseph.
Okay.
In the Bronx.
In the Bronx, right. Who opened up the congregation?
Sherry.
Sherry. Okay.
Yeah. But now you know how it goes.
Right.
But yeah, that's what happened. We opened up a few stores.
Right.
We had a school.
Right.
We had things going on. A lot of people.
Right.
And it was really pleasant. We loved each other. We hung out with each other. And we stayed there. I mean, like, we would get there early in the morning. We wouldn't leave till late at night.
Who are some of your biggest influences in this way of life?
First and foremost, Cohane Levi, I got dog. And then Nasi Top L.
First, what's the Hebrew that you teach today? Because you have, the only reason why I'm asking that is because you have a group of Israelites at this moment that whenever they speak the Hebrew, they don't use the vowel systems that we're using today, and and what we speak in Hebrew. Every vowel that they use sounds like the I sound. I would like you to touch a little bit on that, the Hebrew that we speak in our community, and if you know a little bit about their community and the Hebrew that they're speaking, if that's even a form of Hebrew, because I've heard some of them say that the Hebrew we speak is Yiddish. I know that's crazy, because Yiddish is a mix, I believe, of German and Hebrew. I could be mistaken, but I know we don't speak Yiddish.
Right.
But from a lack of knowledge, this is what some of them say. And if you would like to speak on that and explain it a little bit more, I would really be really appreciate that. Well,
even in the Tanakh, where I get my vocabulary from, and in some cases, you know that the things that exist now did not exist then. So I took the freedom, after I looked into the dictionary, and see what they have for these modern things, like telephone and all that stuff, and see that it's just English, written with Hebrew in transliteration. We took the liberties of introducing our own words for those things. But the most of my terminology comes straight from the Tanakh.
From the Tanakh. Okay.
Yeah, my vocabulary.
Right.
So the guys up in Manhattan, I've had a couple of incidents with them. I use that word, incidents,
right,
because they have the Christian God up in there, you know, and they believe in that. And when you try to tell them the correct way, you know, not going into, you know, you're wrong, this is right, you know, this is right and everything, but try to reason with them, they were unreasonable. So I remember one time at the slave theater on Fulton Street, we had an event. It was supposed to be a unity thing.
right,
But I think we pretty much came with the same state of mind that they came with. You know, this is the way it really goes.
right.
You know, and that didn't turn out well.
Okay,
And that did not turn out well at all.
okay,
So the next time we tried it, we had Chief Simeon. We went, you know, a group of us. You know, I could name them, but, you know, we went there up to their place. And they had on the window of their Manhattan camp, Yehoshua, Hu Elohim.
oof.
In Hebrew, you know,
And what does that translate to?
that Jesus is God. That's what they had up there.
That's at 1 West 125th.
Yeah. And it was confrontational from the beginning. The word that I said, Yehoshua,
Right,
they had Yahashawa.
right.
But, you know,
Hawashai.
yeah, that's because I recognize the Hebrew, not the vowels.
Right,
They, you know, historically, you can find in Tanakh where there's slight differences in the times of the judges
okay,
that even Ephraim and Manasseh had slight differences in the way that they spoke
they
the
pronounce
Hebrew.
words. Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was, you know, ridiculous.
Okay. So my question is, will you give any validity to the way that they speak the Hebrew?
No. It's
And your reasoning for that is what?
because it's, you know, what it is there's a verb system. 7 conjugations. Each one of those conjugations show the mood of the subject, which means the person that is incorporated in with the verb as a prefix, and that would be in the future tense, or as a suffix, which would establish the past tense. And each one of those conjugations has its own pronunciation pattern and their own mood of the subject.
Right.
Mood of the subject. That means how the person is associated with the verb, whether he's the doer or the doee.
Right.
You know, or whether he caused it to happen or it was caused to happen to him.
Okay.
And then there's the hitpayo.
Right.
All these have their own pronunciation patterns. And you cannot possibly speak Hebrew without knowing those patterns. You can't speak it correctly.
Right.
It's too much to know. I hear people using it. I don't go around trying to correct everybody.
Right.
In fact,
So for example, we say shalom, right? Which is a greeting, and it also means peace.
Yeah.
In Hebrew. They say shalom. What is grammatically wrong with them saying shalom?
It's grammatically incorrect. Simple as that.
Right.
There is a language that exists in this world right now, in Israel, and it's basically Hebrew. You know, they have people that came from all over the world, you know, all over Eastern Europe, that are there. And each one of them speaks the Hebrew in their own dialect, you know, their origin, country of origin.
Right.
Except for the ones that were born there, and they're influenced by their parents. So, in order to read books, you have to know these conjugations. In order to read the Tanakh, you have to recognize these conjugations.
Right.
To get the real meaning of what is written there.
What is being said, right.
Yeah. And without that, it's just broken Hebrew.
Right. Right. So can you were saying the conjugations and the 7 different, what was it that you said?
Conjugation.
Yeah, the 7 different conjugations. Can you give us an example with one word exactly what you're speaking about?
Okay. I'll give a word that is pretty widely known. Aleph, Kaf, Lamed, which means, in its conjugations, to eat. Okay? In the future tense, with the Aleph prefix to it, or without it, it means I will eat. And the nif'al, see, the clause has the active subject. The person will do, did, or is doing that word.
Eating.
Yeah. And the nif'al, which is a partner to the clause, because you have sets.
Right.
Active, passive.
Right.
Now that's the thing that those people are. They get some vocabulary. I mean, because, you know, broken Hebrew is spoken all around.
All around, right.
You know, so they get some vocabulary. And they don't know the deep the grammar.
Right.
And I just listen. Yeah. But one thing about Hebrew is there's a lot of stuff that you can find in Hebrew because there's a lot of stuff that is only written in Hebrew.
Right.
You see? And that attempt
right.
is to hide stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's a preventive tactic.
Right.
Which is not going to work.
Right.
But, you know, and words,
right.
Words in Hebrew clarifies,
right.
You know, what is written right there. And that was, I'll tell you, the real reality of it is, as a teacher, I was a student also. What I did, I would have them study a certain assignment of the Haftarah,
right.
Of the Seder, I meant to say. Right. The Seder means the lesson that we're going to teach. Right. And I had to study it hard because me being a teacher, I didn't want anybody to ask me a question that I could not answer.
Right, right.
But then, those intelligent Israelites were bringing me information.
Right.
They were bringing me information too.
So as a group, you guys started to grow and speak the language, become the language, and it began to grow within Shabbat Yisrael.
Yeah.
Right.
I tell you though, that I never spoke to my son in his 40s, Eliyahu. I never spoke to my kids in English.
Wow, that's interesting. So how many Yeladim or children do you have in all? And do they all speak Hebrew? Do they all communicate in Hebrew?
All the ones that I've raised
in this way of life?
Yeah, they all speak Hebrew.
Lasted in Shabbat Yisrael for 13 years.
13 years. And then Amoz.
Right.
Amoz came on the scene. Because, they knew of me. And I didn't have any particular Israelites that I didn't hang out with.
Right.
Except for those ones up in Manhattan.
In Manhattan, okay.
And, yeah, Amoz came over there. Motai Shabbat one time.
That's Chief Amoz ben Yehudah.
No, Ben Levi.
Ben Levi at that time.
Yeah.
Because he changed his tribe to Yehudah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right at the end.
I didn't know that.
He changed his tribe.
Oh. Okay.
How long did you last on Nostrand Avenue with Amoz and, as you referred to, the crew? A heck of a crew, huh?
Yeah. Well, he had given me an apartment upstairs.
Upstairs, right.
Up over the bakery, that's it.
Right.
And, I was holding his money.
Right.
He trusted me with his money. It was in the thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
I still in this house, because Amoz gave me my last grand that I needed to buy this house.
Okay.
I borrowed it, and I went to him and told him, look, I can't pay you back yet, but I'm going to pay you back. He said, keep it. Don't worry about it. $1,000.
Wow.
And that was amazing. But after that, I kept hanging out with the same brothers.
Right.
Right. And Amoz was a nice brother. But, he was, in my opinion,
okay,
he was a really nice brother. Nice, he was generous.
Right.
I loved the guy. And that's the way it is. He's still a fond memory of mine. And I hate the way he went out.
Right. So then from there, where did you end up after that? What congregation did you end up after that?
Well, I floated around for a couple of years. I always kept the Shabbat in this house.
Okay.
Me and my kid. Between all this time, as a result of that and other things that occurred.
Right.
Right. So, during these times, we started to. I started to teach at Cohane, Yisrael.
Cohane, Yisrael.
I just went in there and I just remembered. Oh, Boaz.
What does Cohane mean?
Congregation.
Congregation.
Okay. And I went in there, and just the week before, there had been this big confrontation between Tobiah and Levi, the one that died. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know Tobiah.
And Adon Boaz.
Okay.
So I stayed there for years. But Kufa was born while I was at BINAH. Because what had happened, by this time I was interfacing with Ben Ammi.
Okay. That far back.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was interfacing with Ben Ammi. Because, look, if the Most High put us out of the land,
right.
Nobody could bring us back into the land.
That's right.
Unless he condoned it.
That's right.
So, even though that there were differences,
right.
We have made a pact that nothing is going to come between you and me. Zero.
Right.
And we remained friends. I mean, close friends, up until the day of his death. You know, and that was a shocker. But I knew that, you know, some of the stuff he was teaching wasn't real. But I didn't let that come between us.
Your friendship, right?
Because he had done a marvelous thing. Marvelous. And bringing those people back into the land. The Most High allowed it. And I'm sure he aided in it because it was a goal. But it was marvelous in my eyesight.
Since you touched on the topic of Ben Ammi, and we're speaking about Ben Ammi, who took his people back to Israel through the way of Africa, into the land, and they're right now the KOI, who are in Dimona, in Israel. You know, for years there were critics of you and even other brothers who became associated with Ben Ammi, right? And you know, now that you let me notice that you made a pact that you weren't going to let anything come between y'all. What do you think about that criticism at that time when people were criticizing the relationships that men like you and other men like Meshael, like, you know, people were criticizing, basically criticizing that relationship? What do you think about that, and would you care to touch on that?
So, as far as the criticism of me and Meshael about our associations with Ben Ammi, they don't know about that. They don't know what that was.
Right.
They had no idea. They were just talking.
Right.
So I didn't let it bother me.
Right.
I mean, I went there and stayed for months.
Wow. And he invited you and paid for your fare?
We had the first event that we had with him and his princess at BINAH. Some female from New Jersey that was a part of the KOG. That was the name that preceded KOY.
KOY, okay.
Okay. They put her out because she refused to adhere to the diet of, you know, the vegan diet
that they had.
Yeah. And I think it was mandatory because, you know, the way they dealt with those Israelites was horrible. They were deported. They were jailed. I mean, everybody that went there just about was put in jail and sent back to New York.
Wow.
But they kept going back. And that's what makes me know that Yehudah was doing this. This is Yehudah. I mean, right now there are thousands of Israelites in Israel that have not been anywhere else.
Wow.
Nowhere.
Wow.
That's home.
Right.
And another quiet secret. There are Israelites that have been there all the time.
Right. And never left.
Never left. Because they were poor. They weren't valuable to the invaders.
Right.
So they just left them there. And
you got to meet some of them when you were over there?
Yes, I did.
And what dialect of Hebrew do they speak?
Oh man, they trilingual. They speak Hebrew, they speak Arabic, and they speak English.
Wow. Wow.
Trilingual.
Wow. So I remember before that you told me, I believe it was a story about when you have gotten sick. Is it, I don't know if it's, did you tell me or if it was someone told me that, and I always repeat this, but I don't know if I'm right, that that Ben Ammi, when you were sick and you were recovering, that he sent a nurse here to nurse you back to health?
Yes. I was doing TMH CHOKMAH was born, he sent one of his doctors.
Wow. From Israel.
Yeah. And to take care of me while Pete recovered from birth, giving birth to CHOKMAH.
Wow.
And when I picked her up at the airport, first thing came out of her mouth is, "I'm not Tom's wife." I said, okay. Okay. Because I knew Natan.
Okay, so you were at CHOKMAH for how long?
Okay, CHOKMAH was born there. She's 15. I was there before she was born. Probably 17 years, maybe.
You were there for 17 years.
Maybe no more.
Have you officially given anyone that title, Moreh? Like Nasi Barak gave you that title?
No, only Moreh Yehudah. That was because you asked me.
Yeah. Because what happened is at Shema, I began to call him Moreh Yehudah. And he said, I don't want to be called Moreh until I could speak until he could speak to you. He didn't want people to say that he was calling himself Moreh. And I believe I called you, I spoke to you, and I also believe that he came and he spoke to you. And you gave him your blessing.
Yeah, I mean, really, he didn't.
Right.
He didn't call me.
He didn't call you?
No,
yeah, he spoke to me.
They're all over the place. Moreh, this, Moreh, that.
Right.
Hey, what does it mean? Call whatever they want to be called.
Right. No. But you officially, that's the only person you officially.
Only.
So as far as your Hebrew and your experience, who are some of the best teachers of the Hebrew language that you have turned out, if you could recall? Who are some of your best students that turned out to be teachers?
I think Cohane, he was my student too, yeah.
Oh, okay. Naturally, if he came through Hashava while you were teaching, you would have been his teacher.
Yeah. Yehoshua, because he stuck to it.
Right.
And passed it down through his family.
Right.
That's about it, man.
What about Yohanatan and Yehotzedek?
Yeah, Yohanatan, he's good, man.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. I don't know what he calls himself, but because he's in Virginia.
Right.
And Yehotzedek is called Moreh Yehotzedek. He's in Florida. Right. I got really frustrated with this because by the time that Amoz came,
right,
and asked me to come and teach, nobody was diligent in the class.
Absolutely, and I have brothers that attest to that.
Nobody.
Like I said, Prince Shem always tells me, he said, I would have been a real good student if I didn't get pulled out of so many classes. They always had to make a run somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, it is what it is.
Right.
I know Hebrew.
Torah, yeah.
I know, you know that I know.
Right.
Because you were involved in those DVDs that I made that was teaching that stuff.
I was going to get to that. How many DVDs do you have teaching the language? Do you recall?
I have lots. The one that I'm shortest on is the introduction.
Right.
Class 1.
Right.
So
that's the one we did at BINAH, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of people, some people bought them.
Right.
I was selling them at $50 a piece.
Right.
2 for $25, 4 for $50.
Right.
And incorporated in that was the defining of all those conjugations and what they mean.
That's right.
So occasionally someone buys them. I think they're publicized.
So let's move on to your current situation now. Where are you worshiping now? Where is your where is your place of worship, and how long have you been currently at this place?
Like I said, before I was born, I was there.
Right.
She's 15.
Okay.
So I was there before she was born. The place is called BINAH, Kobe, Yisrael. And
that means?
The congregation of all Israel.
Okay.
Yeah. The children of the congregation of all Israel.
Children of the congregation of all Israel.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
People.
People.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm the senior statesman there.
Okay.
I do the opening prayers. I teach the Sid vote in a rotation. Two other people they teach. That's Chief Naphtali and Rabbi Barak.
Okay.
And I called up the readers to read the Torah. And I'm the treasurer. Yeah, they trust me with the money because they know I'm not going to steal a penny. Not a penny.
And they know you're going to hold it until it's time to do what has got to be done.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think that's always been part of your reputation, and it's good, you know, that people could call you trustworthy, and that people could say, well, you know, the money is not going to be spent frivolously. It's going to be spent on the right things and spent on the things that they're supposed to be spent on. So,
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to take it back. What do you know about the history of Israelites here in America? Where did it start from? Who introduced it to us here on this to the sons and daughters of slaves that were brought here into to the shores of America? Do you know any of that history?
I've heard. I mean, this is word of mouth information that I have.
Right.
And what I hear is that a man that was formerly a bishop discovered Israelites were sent to Ethiopia.
Right.
That's why you get Ethiopian, Hebrew, blah, 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 thing. And they directly or supposedly met with ambassadors of Haile Selassie, who was the emperor of Ethiopia, and Israelite.
Right.
You know, his fame was he was the Lion of Judah.
Conquering Lion of Judah.
Yeah. So they came up out of Ethiopia, and the man that got it here was, I don't know if there was a rabbi between him and that, but he is recognized as the man that really started this thing, that we are the Israelites, and you know, there's a whole line of rabbis, you know, which neither here nor there, their title, you know, because you can be called anything you want to be called.
Right.
He was the guy who started this whole line. Supposedly he was up there in Manhattan, 123rd Street, and he got too crowded. So he sent some rabbis out to start their own congregation under him. You know, like, they were named after his place. Camp number 1, 2, 3, 4. And at my entry into this thing,
I don't
Cohane
know.
Levi.
Sure. What was the man's name? Do you know?
Wentworth Matthews.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the
Chief
name of
Rabbi.
Chief Rabbi, and the name of his place was Commandment Keeper.
Yes. 123rd Street.
Okay.
Right there beside Mount Morris Park.
Okay.
Yeah, and then by the time I got really interested in it, Cohane never had left one of the Chief Rabbi's students that opened up BINAH dot, but they were on Patchen Avenue in a little storefront. But they brought that building, and Joseph, Moreh Joseph, was being asked to leave. So Cohane Levy said, okay, look, I'm leaving too. And they took a little crew with them. And this is pretty much who I ran into on Gates Avenue at 1106. A little apartment, you know, like one bedroom apartment.
Okay.
And that was the start of, you know, my association.
With Israel.
Yeah.
So your history basically comes down from Rabbi Matthews. The man who Rabbi Matthew taught, which name was, do you know his name?
Yeah, Yirmiyahu.
Rabbi Yirmiyahu.
Mm-hmm.
He taught Moreh Yosef and Cohane Levy.
Yeah.
And then they taught you.
Yeah, well, not there.
Cohane Levy.
Cohane Levy
Taught you.
taught me. Yeah, they, you know, Cohane Levy was, he was not, you know, the average kind of guy, you know. He was, he always had upward mobility in mind.
What about the movement to what about the Lusaf?
Oh, Lusaf.
To go to Guyana? How did that transpire? What part did you have to play in that? What, you know, with the whole going to Guyana, buying land, Guyana, South America, that is, buying land and establishing a place, Hashabi Yisrael down there.
Well,
You care to speak about that?
yeah, I'll speak about that. I wasn't the first one that went. Cohane Levy went with Nasi Tarbell.
Okay.
And then that's when they found out that they didn't have any Hebrew down there. And that's when they sent me. And they gave me money, lots of money, to kind of, you know, they picked up on this man named Rabbi Washington.
That was down there already.
Yeah, at the House of Israel. They picked up on him. They knew that, you know, you read his poems. Yeah. You know, you could get an end with him. So I went down there and I set up Hebrew classes, you know, and this man was a trip.
Rabbi Washington?
Yeah. At that time, Forbes Burnham was the prime minister, a black man. Black people had taken over the government with war. And Rabbi Washington had schemed himself into the good graces of Forbes Burnham.
Right.
You know, what's that? Mano y mano?
Mano a mano.
Yeah. Who protected him. Burnham got sick. And he went to Indian doctors, East Indian doctors.
In Guyana.
And never got out the hospital. They hated him.
Yeah.
But while he was the boss, you know, they had to do it his way.
Respect him, that's right.
Yeah. And that's when the you know, the House of Cards fell down. You know, once Burnham died, they put Rabbi Washington in jail. Those Indians.
They did.
Yeah, they put him in jail. I mean, he was a criminal. He was.
Right.
But, you know, he did a lot of stuff about him. That Burnham, you know, protecting them from prosecution about it.
So you met Rabbi Washington. Did you meet with the Prime Minister of
No.
Guyana also?
No.
But you met with Rabbi Washington.
Yeah.
And that time when you guys were going there, that was right around the time with the whole Jim Jones thing, right?
Yeah, it was before that.
It was before Jim Jones.
Yeah, before Jim Jones.
So you guys pretty much had a good foothold in the land in Guyana before that whole mess came along. So
yeah, and that was a part of the problem that we had there because we were from America.
Right.
And Jim Jones was from America.
Right.
And most of his followers were black people.
They were.
Yeah, most of them.
Wow.
And all that scenario played out.
So when the smoke cleared from Jim Jones, people were kind of looking at Israelites as a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, quite skeptical. But it took hold. And right now, it's a thriving community.
Ran by CHOKMAH.
Yeah. And, after a while, Ammi Carter told me that he told Cohane Levi that he no longer wanted to be under him. Because by then he had connected with Burnham. And Burnham's achievement under the direction of the Most High, I do believe, was phenomenal in the minds of us. The new South, leave the United States of America fund.
Leave the United States of America fund. That's what it stood for. So, all right, so what would you say about Burnham's philosophy?
Well,
being that he did accept, I believe, Jesus as a prophet, or I don't know if he accepted him as God or the Savior. I don't know really his philosophy, but that was some of the issues that people would have had with brothers and sisters that were from our community, non-messianic, and them being messianic. What would you have to say about that, or how would you explain that?
Well, what it was with me and Burnham was, we could speak the truth.
Okay, to each other.
Yeah, and whether we were on the same page or not, we could speak the truth, and it wouldn't matter between me.
True friendship.
Yeah, but I think that they read the New Testament. They were already all up into that New Testament.
Okay.
But by the time that they came out here to gather more people,
right,
and over a period of time, just like it changed from the K-O-G to the K-O-Y.
Right.
He always said, look, the K-O-G or K-O-Y is not what it's going to be in the future. No, because he had to make a transition in some things.
Okay.
Because he met me and he met Ammi Carter, and
that's very influential.
And I know we spoke the truth.
Okay.
I mean, there's no other truth.
That's right.
So as far as that, they had been thinking that Yehudah, as they call him, Yeshua, as they call him, was a prophet.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's kind of like Martin Luther King. Now, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, those people who died and let us out of that oppressive captivity.
Right.
Malcolm X was a Muslim.
That's right.
And Dr. King was Christian. But remember in Jeremiah, no, it was Isaiah, that he spoke of Cyrus,
Cain.
his servant.
Uh-huh.
He was a Persian,
Cain.
you know. So Most High works wonders.
He called him his anointed.
Yeah. And he was anointed to, release the Israelites, because when he came into power, he just marched on up in there and took over.
Okay.
Minimal resistance.
Okay.
So he gave us another chance at that time, because through the hands of the person that he had predicted centuries earlier.
Right.
So me having that information, I had no problem. Because BINAH, and this is my opinion, and I defend that opinion. BINAH was the nicest and most generous man that I ever met.
Wow.
He would pay my way, send me places, me and my wife, and had people take care of our kids while we were in Israel and while we down in Africa somewhere.
Wow, so he paid for your trips to Africa.
Yeah, he paid for my trip to Israel.
To Israel.
The first one anyway.
Right.
And at that meeting, he said, at the end of that meeting, he turned to Prince Ashiel and said, I want to see this brother in the land. And it was done. It was done.
So I myself, and I'm sure when I put this out, some of these parts of this interview to people, that they will understand better your relationship.
Amen.
And how things went, because sometimes it's better to hear it from the person's mouth, because speculation is a monster.
Yeah.
And it grows, and
Yeah.
people don't really know the relationships that people have with each other, and I believe that a lot of times this is what destroys our people, our nation, is just the speculation and people not knowing, and people criticizing,
And jealousy.
and jealousy, and envy, and all
Jealousy. That's the green-eyed monster.
that. Green-eyed monster.
Jealousy. I heard those criticisms.
Right.
And I defended them. Because, look, I loved BINAH. BINAH was a totally different kind of person.
Right.
Totally.
Right.
Humble, generous, nice man. That's what I got.
Right. Okay. A few more questions. So where did you see our future? Getting back to us as Israelites. Where do you see our future? Where would you want us? What would you want us to be? What is your aspiration as an elder, a leader, a teacher, a father? What are your aspirations for this people, for these Israelites in this part of the hemisphere? Because we understand already in Dimona, they're moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking back. But the brothers and sisters that are in this part of the diaspora, what is your aspiration? What is it that you want to see?
Well, I've been pretty much disappointed, because of the deception that I recognize. So I've come to a position that I'm just going to teach our reality, that our ancestors were just wicked. And, when I first came with that, people fought it. But Yehudah wouldn't have put us out here except we were wicked.
Right. That's right.
I mean, you gotta believe that. So, what I do is teach. But I've decided that, hey, this may be my position that I'm assigned to by the Most High, so that's what I'm going to be. What I would like to see, I would like to see Israelites internationally get together. You know, like what happened with Burnham's crew at KOY after he died was, you know, before he died, he established an echelon under him, princes, and they took over. I mean, didn't miss a beat. And it seems to me that, you know, everybody accepted it, and it's still moving. They have products in the international markets, you know, and in the Israeli markets too.
Okay.
You know, soy products, and they have vegan products in the market. I mean, they don't say KOY, you know, because that may turn some people off. But I found that this is going off from your question.
Okay.
I found that I went to Palestine. I was up in Palestine.
Wow.
Where, you know what Palestine is?
Yes.
And they were like, brother.
The Palestinians.
Yes. And the Israelis, they were up there with their forces. The BINAH. I mean,
So they respect, the Palestinians respect the people from the Mona.
yeah, because they know that the Israelites are not those Jewish people.
Okay.
The Egyptian president said, not this one, but
Nasi.
he said, you know what he said, right?
Right.
He said, you left black and you came back white, you will not be accepted.
Right.
So I'll just work, man. I'll just work, and I'll maintain my integrity. Because by now, I wouldn't dare turn around.
That's right.
I mean, what would be valuable enough for me to turn around?
Right.
So I'll just keep working. Sometimes it feels like a lost cause, and distractions come in, and things. But the ultimate is the Most High is going to do this. When and if, I must just say when, but some of us, if we meet the requirements, the Most High is going to see to it. He said it. He already said it. It's already clear. So I just keep working as long as I'm alive.
And in closing, how would you like to be remembered?
Remember?
How would you like to be remembered? It might take a little thought, but
Remember.
how would you like to be remembered in this community and history? How would you like people to remember you in your own words?
I think pretty much that is already established. You know, when I'm dead, that would be the end of my work. And that's the only thing that's going to end my work, is death. But I'm not going to speak on that because I already know that if I was making the decision, we would be already back up in the land. Long time. You know? long time. But I realized that the work is not done in the land, and there's a certain part that says that strangers were going to build up our walls.
Okay.
And a lot of positive stuff has been said about what's going to happen in that land. But it doesn't seem to me that it's anywhere close to happening.
Right. But if you had one word to describe you,
Me?
to be remembered by, what would that word be?
Well, now, what they say at funerals is always positive. I know it's not everybody that likes me,
Right.
but there's not anybody in the Israelite community that can say I did them wrong.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And what I've said I would do, I've done, and I continue to do it. And let the chips fall where they fall. I mean, I know what I've done. I know where I came from.
Right.
I know of my achievements and my failures. Let the chips fall where they fall. I mean,
So servant of the Most High would be appropriate for you.
I think I am.
Okay.
I think I am.
So thank you for this interview, Moreh. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm trying to document all of our teachers, and hopefully the Most High will continue to bless you with many more years.
Amen.
And that the Most High God be with you and your family. So
Amen.
in closing, if you want to say a prayer, if you want to give a blessing to the people, this is the time to do it.
Here's what I want to say. I want to repeat this reality that nobody can save us but ourselves. And once the jealousies are gone, I mean this outspoken viciousness that's been spread around, we won't go anywhere.
Right.
Because some people just, are narcissists.
Right.
They think that they are.
Okay.
You know, they are, I am. But as long as that is around, we're going to just go up and down, up and down. We're breaking up everywhere. At this point,
Right.
we're breaking up because of the narcissist.
Right.
So, a narcissist is an extremely arrogant person that thinks it's all about him or her.
Right.
So, until the Most High will eliminate those or change them, we'll break up. We'll continue to break up. The Most High is taking the leaders up.
Right.
He's pulling the covers off the leaders. That's all I have to say.
Hallelujah. Torah by Moreh. I really appreciate this interview, and may the Most High God continue to bless you.
Amen.
Amen.